This week might be the most important one since we bought this chateau 7 years ago. Because in the coming days, the future of the chateau, of the outbuildings, of our life, and the future of this channel will be decided. For 1 year, we have been working tirelessly on one plan, to turn the chateau and the coach house into a hotel. Business plans, architectural plans, permits, expert reports, budgets, meetings, all of it. And finally, a couple of days ago, we submitted everything to the bank. We are asking for a massive loan, actually several loans for several companies that we had to create in the process. And to give you an idea, the loan that we ask for now is about 5 times higher than the loan to purchase the chateau in the first place. So once again, we are taking a massive gamble and we are all in. We have done everything we can to make it happen, and now it's in the hands of the bankers. And yesterday, we got a call. They said that the project is so exceptionally complex that they can't just look at the numbers. They want to come here, they want to see what we're doing, they want to see what we've done so far and hear about the project in person.
We have somebody coming to the chateau from the bank, and this means that this is our chance. We just want the chateau to look as good as possible and that he will be convinced of our project too. And we just want to do as much as possible so that it looks perfect. So one big job that I have been waiting to do for the last probably 2 years is repaint our front doors. These are 250-year-old doors that have probably been painted hundreds of times in their life. And we last painted them 7 years ago when we bought the chateau and started renovating. But for some reason, I don't know if it's because we're south facing, we're close to the sea, the paint has started to chip really badly. Maybe it's because of the filler that the paint hasn't adhered. I know I used a primer after the filler, but it's not looking good. So I'm a bit disappointed. I was thinking I bought some special paint from the paint shop, which was especially meant for outside. But yeah, this is looking really bad. I've got my sander. This is 40 sandpaper. It's got a lot of texture, so hopefully that is going to get off the worst, and then I can go down to a finer grade. So I've now moved on to a smaller sander to try and get into all the edges. This is 90, so it's a lot finer. So because it's still very chipped. Oh my goodness, it is so hot. We are not used to this. It's 24 degrees centigrade, which doesn't sound that crazy, but considering it was about 10 degrees centigrade last week, that's a little bit of a difference. And I am actually starting to understand why this door, all the woodwork on this side of the chateau gets so worn, because it gets all of the wind, the rain, the sun tapping on it, and it's so hot. I'm going to put up a parasol. Hopefully that's going to give me some protection.
They literally will come in here. The first thing they see is the gate. And you remember this gate. It's a fantastic gate. We made it. It took us forever to make. It's motorized. I can open it with my phone. I can open it with a radio. I can even open it with my mind if I think hard enough. Open, open. One thing it can't do, it's not self-cleaning, unlike our dog. And there's this kind of moss. I don't know if you can see this green stuff here? It doesn't look nice, but luckily it comes off easily. Funny enough, it's just down here. Ugh. What is that? Green. Ah. I wanted to do this for so long, and I never did it because, you know, there's always more important things, but no more excuses today. There's a very good reason to do this. Doesn't look bad, does it? Would you give us the money? Whenever we talk about purchasing the chateau here, we get so many messages from people asking how we did it, and so many people find a dream property in France, try to buy it, and then they fail getting a bank loan. The key point to keep in mind is that a bank will not lend you money because your dream is beautiful, but they lend you money because they see how you will pay back this loan. The first question will always be, are you buying it for yourself as a private home, or is it going to be a business? If it's a private home, the bank is mainly looking at you. They want to see that you have a stable, provable income and that you don't have other huge loans going on. You cannot get a loan that requires you to pay back more than 35% a month of your income. So let's say if you have a loan that costs you 1,000 a month, you need at least to have roughly 3,000 euros net income. But even that is not enough. You also need cash, enough cash at least to pay the frais notaire, the notary fees, taxes, the bank charges and the guarantee, which is also something you have to pay. So if you look at a property price in France, you add at least 10% for all these fees, and the bank expects you to pay that out of your own pocket. Then it's generally much easier to get a loan if you have at least 10 to 20% yourself, but that can vary, and often you don't need that much, but often you need also more. So this is something you have to feel and you have to find out with your bank. Now, for us, it was particularly difficult to get a loan for the chateau in the first place, and we made a full video about it, and we also told you how much we paid for it and how we got a bank loan in the end. And I put it here or here, the link, so you can watch it. It's a very good video, had a lot of success. If you're buying it as a business, then things change again, and then the bank doesn't only want to see how you finance it and how you pay it back, but they also want to know if the business that you're planning to do is viable. That means a business plan, monthly breakdown of the monthly costs, you need architectural plans, you need to prove that you will get planning for your project. So there's this huge amount of documents that you need to submit, and the bigger your project is, the more money you need, the more documents you need, because the bank needs to be sure again that when the business is running, you make enough money to pay back the loan. So my final advice for you, if you're dreaming of purchasing one day a French property, or you have already found your dream chateau, you need to be able to answer not only the question, can I afford to buy it? But you need also answer the question, can I prove to the bank that I will be able to afford to keep it alive?
So after what feels like about 3 hours of sanding, my hands are almost numb now. I think I've got quite a good finish. I mean, there's definitely some areas where I need to put some filler, but I've got rid of most of the loose stuff. So yeah, I'm gonna give it a quick hoover, get rid of all the dust. I'm just mixing up some of this mastic for wood and hoping it's not gonna dry out too quickly. So I've got quite a big hole here. So I finished filling all the big holes with the mastic, and then these are all the cracks that I'm going to try and fill with the caulking. So hopefully, yeah, these cracks will not do the same thing again, because last time I definitely used like a mastic and I can see that it's coming out. So I've sanded down the doors again to get rid of any of the excess mastic that I'd filled the doors with, and now I'm ready to just wipe them down to get rid of any dust. It's always so satisfying after like a whole day of prep work, of sanding, to finally put some paint on. This is a new primer, and it's a really nice primer. you've been watching our channel for a while, then you will know that I'm a big fan of Chateau, who happens to be this week's ad. I've been using their products for over 2 years now, so keep watching because it's Chateau's birthday and they have some amazing deals on. I use the ultra light and wireless FEQ202 new generation LED face mask. It's FDA cleared and has clinically proven results. I always apply the FAQ red light peptide serum before each treatment as it contains photoreactive ingredients which optimize the LED's performance. These wavelengths have been studied in controlled clinical trials for their skin benefits, and I've personally noticed that my skin feels firmer, softer, and looks rejuvenated with less sunspots since using it. The mask has 8 different wavelengths, including 1 NIR infrared, so that you can target dark spots, acne, redness, and it has an anti-aging pro-longevity effect, which boosts collagen production. Plus, the green LED helps even out skin tone after skin exposure. Now is the perfect time to shop because Chateau is celebrating its birthday with one of its biggest sales of the year. Click the link in the description or scan the QR code and use our code to get an extra 35% off almost all products. The code is stackable on sale items too, meaning you can get up to 50% off.
This U topiary is in front of the chateau, so this has to be perfect because that's one of the first things you see when you come, just like the balls here. And if you remember well, last time I used Anna's favorite tablecloth to catch all the branches, but Anna said it wasn't such a good idea to use that. She said it in a different way. She said it a bit louder. So I'm using this time. Look at that. That's nobody's, that's mine. I bought it. And it should be almost as good as Anna's favorite tablecloth. I have clear instructions from our landscaper how to prune this. She wants these to be slim and these corner pieces to be a bit wider. So that's going to be challenging. I'm looking forward to it. Would you like to do that? Be honest. If I would see that on YouTube, I would say, oh, I would like to have a go at it. And I think it's a perfect time for a topiary time lapse. Jean-Pierre, our gardener, saw me and he suggested I should try his petrol-driven hedge scissors. Of course, that was much faster, but I'm not so happy. I don't think it's as precise as by hand. So I decided to try on the other side to do it by hand to see how much longer it takes. Also, that is super heavy, this machine, and it's quite annoying to hold it up here for a long time. So I know that people in topiary gardens often say they cut it by hand all the time as out of principle. What do you think? Do you have experience in topiary? Can I cut it with a machine? Does it matter? And if you wonder what these are, these will become beautiful tower topiaries in 45 years. I must say I much more prefer the hand cut. I am very happy on this side. I'm not so happy on the other side. What do you think? That's cut by hand. That's cut by machine. It's a bit more wavy, I would say. But all in all, given the fact that these have been planted only 3 years ago or 4 years ago, I think they do well. And every year they got more dense, and I'm really pleased with these hedges. Looks nice. As you can probably see, this hedge is not straight at all because whoever planted this 3-4 years ago did a very poor job in planting them in a straight line. It was me, but I'm a different person now, and I will fix it. other major issue right now, and that's the windows. They look filthy, especially the top parts, because it's hard to access them. Cleaning the windows in a chateau is a huge problem. It takes forever. It takes several days. It's dangerous because you have to climb on the outside. But do we have a choice? Either we pay somebody, a company that costs probably 500 to 1,000 euros to do it, and that's several times a year, or we do it ourselves, or we don't do it. And often it's something in between doing it ourselves and not doing it. So sometimes if we don't have important guests, our windows are not as clean as we would like them to be. But this week, there's no choice. We have to do it.
Whew. So unfortunately my time lapse didn't finish because I ran out of battery on the camera and I didn't realise. But hey, I have now finished priming the door and it is looking so good. I'm really happy. Obviously it looks very white. Some leftover paint from 2020, but there's still almost half a tin.
And that is exactly where we got interrupted. We heard a car coming up the drive and suddenly realized the bank team were an hour early. So we had to rush upstairs and make ourselves presentable in less than a minute. But the good news is that they were lovely. We spent half a day showing them everything, talking through the project and even sharing lunch at the village restaurant. When they left, they said they loved what we have done here and really liked the hotel project. Of course, that doesn't mean we have to loan. There are a lot of people involved, including higher-ranking decision makers we will probably never meet, who will only see the numbers, the plans and the risk. But having those two people on our side certainly improves our chances. It will probably take a couple of weeks before we hear anything, and I would not be surprised if they ask us for even more documents. So keep your fingers crossed for us and stay tuned for the next steps. Thanks so much for watching and see you next time.